Hi, welcome to Teaneck In Focus. My name is Seleene Lewis Wong. I'm here with my co-host Denise Belcher and also Dwayne Harley Esquire. We are so happy that you're here with us. We're here for part two of a very, very important discussion on the ICE presence in Teaneck, and we all are hearing about it. We see it. It has affected our children. It has affected our homes and our families, and we're here to talk about it again. We're here with a special guest, and today we have Dr. Andre Spencer here, who is the superintendent of Teaneck Public Schools. We're glad to have him here, and let's talk about it. This is still a hot topic, Denise.
Yes, yes, indeed. We're so fortunate to have Andre Spencer, Dr. Spencer's, as superintendent of the Teaneck Public Schools. It's a pleasure to have him here with us. He is serving one of New Jersey's most diverse school communities. Lifelong educator and district teacher. Dr. Spencer is known for his focus on equity and student well-being and ensuring that schools remain safe, welcoming spaces for every child regardless of their background or circumstance. We're speaking with him today as part two of our discussion following a deeply troubling incident involving U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, right here in Teaneck, involving Teaneck student traveling to school. An event that has raised urgent questions about safety, responsibility, and trust in and around our school spaces. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Spencer for a summary of where we are right now.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I first would like to say thank you to Councilwoman Denise Belcher and Miss Seleene Lewis Wong and Mr. Dwayne Harley Esquire for the invite to actually come and have a conversation with you this afternoon. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge our Board of Education under the leadership of Ms. Nadia Hussein as our president and our vice president, Dr. Jerry Kirschenbaum, and all of our trustees for the work that they do in our districts. I just greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. I just want to first start off with making sure that we are acknowledging that Teaneck Public Schools are safe. Young people can come to Teaneck Public Schools and expect to be safe in Teaneck Public Schools. I want to make sure that that permeates everything that we talk about this afternoon. So none of our families will have to have any concern with sending young people to school every day because we need our young people to be in school every single day. As I shared on Thursday when we did the Teaneck Public Schools Forum regarding the incident that occurred at the local or one of the local bus stops for young people transporting or being transported to school. There was a situation that had come to our attention with regards to an adult who was transporting a young person to school. They were not detained. Neither one was detained. The adult was not detained, nor was the child detained. The child did report to school for that day and days after, and the child was fined upon their arrival to schools. As we go further into the conversation, I am going to share some of the social emotional resources as well as social services resources and academic resources that we have available for every single one of our young people in our schools. And then I'm going to continue to share what we do if we have visitors. And this is inclusive of ICE agents. So when I'm speaking of visitors, I'm being all inclusive when we have visitors, but I'll specifically articulate what actions our administrators and our staff have been directed to take in case there is an ICE agent that comes to any of our schools. So again, I just want to say thank you for inviting me to speak with our community and to share with our community again that Teaneck Public Schools are safe. We're encouraging all of our families to send our young people to school each and every day. because our goal is to make sure that they're academically challenged, but also to make sure that they're safe. And safety is our number one priority, and we're going to make sure that that is done.
Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Spencer. So let's begin with some questions that we have from you. And a lot of these questions, a lot of people put a lot of things on social media. We know that. There are a lot of questions. Now there's so many, I'm part of a lot of mom groups who are just very concerned with what's happening. There's a concern not only from our migrant community, as Denise was just mentioning, we come from a very diverse community, and then people are afraid and people are scared. Not only people that come from other countries and that decided that Teaneck was going to be their home, but friends of families are also scared. Their friends, their teenagers who are afraid and are also speaking out about what's happening. And it's about, what do we know? What should we do? What are we telling our children? And so, Denise, I know we wanted to start off with some questions as well.
Yeah, I believe, Dwayne, you had a question?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Spencer, for joining us today. Um, Great to have you. Appreciate your time. As you know, in January, New Jersey signed a Safe Communities Act, which lists a lot of public buildings and entities as safe spaces. How is Teaneck Public Schools putting into practice, the mandates or the mandates or the ideals of this particular act into day-to-day practice?
So thank you for raising that question. Before I respond to that question, I just want to highlight something that I forgot to make mention of. I'm representing our Teaneck Athletics today, and this is in honor of Taseer Carter, one
Yeah.
of a medical episode a few weeks ago at a game. He is doing well. He has a remarkable mom, and I just want to say thank you to Miss Letice Chess Story for all of her work that she's done with her son, but even the work she's doing with our school district. So in honor of the both of you for today, I want to say thank you. I wanted to make sure that I shared that.
Absolutely.
Thank
With
you for that.
regards to safe spaces, and I'm going to articulate this from the vantage point of a school building. So I want everyone to keep in mind that school buildings are public spaces. The building itself is a public space. However, offices and classrooms in school buildings are not public spaces. So just as your home is considered a non-public space, so are those locations. They are considered non-public spaces. So when it comes down to what the state, and I can't speak for any of the legislators, because I don't know what they mean. I can't speak to it from a legal standpoint because I am not an attorney to be able to do that. I'm only speaking from a standpoint as a superintendent and based on the facts that we have with the information that we have. So I say that to say when it comes down to any visitors, inclusive of ICE agents, that comes to a schoolhouse, they legally can visit a schoolhouse because everyone can visit a schoolhouse. It is a public entity. What's not a public entity are the offices and the classroom spaces. Those are not public spaces where anyone can go. So as I shared previously, if any ICE agent is to visit a Teaneck public school, the first thing that will occur is that the office staff will notify the campus administration of the presence. The campus administration will immediately notify me as a superintendent or my assistant superintendent of the presence. We will immediately report to that location, and then it becomes our responsibility. Again, no one is allowed to visit office spaces or classroom spaces without a signed warrant by a judge or the authority or authorization by a school official. We're not giving the authority. So the only other option is there's a signed warrant by a judge. If there is a signed warrant by the judge, legally, we have to oblige. We will follow the guidance from our general counsel in the district in order to take whatever action that we need to take. But I want to make it very, very clear for individuals when the state of New Jersey is speaking about safe spaces, I'm going to say make sure that you follow the guidelines that have been outlined by the legislative officials regarding safe spaces. But with regards to a school building, the school building is public. Locations within the school building is not public, just like our homes are not public. Therefore, we have to make sure that individuals who have any access to those particular locations must meet the two expectations that I've outlined. A signed warrant by a judge, or we have granted the authorization for them to be in those spaces.
Well, thank you for explaining that. I know that many people have that concern. Like I said, when we go on social media, when we're having conversation with families, that is a major concern. We are afraid, and this is a person who may not know all about the legalities of everything, that we are afraid that people are coming inside of our schools. And there's all type of tactics to get our children and also their families as well. Like the incident when we just witnessed was someone at a bus stop, and that was our major concern. And that child, I believe, was I don't know what school that child went to, but it was a school-aged 5-year-old. I'm assuming it was, and how that would be just extreme pressure and emotional for that child. So we're talking about those things as well. And so I just want to bring up Dr. Spencer's. How is the school district really handling the emotions? How are the teachers being trained? How, are the children, are they having conversations? Are you suggesting to your principals that to have these small talks and conversations during the class, during class time, during the day? What's happening that children are able to express themselves inside the classroom?
Thank you for the question. And I do want to make sure that I'm clarifying with regards to office spaces from the previous question before I jump into response to this question. The front office is considered a public space. The offices within the front office are not public spaces. So
Wait,
I
I'm
want to
sorry.
make sure that we're clear on that. The front office itself is a public
Okay.
space. The offices within the front office is not a public space.
So they can potentially come in there. That's what you're saying.
Just as any visitor can enter the front office, you cannot enter beyond that particular point, meaning into the other offices within that location without being given those two options that I articulated. But I want to go back to this situation that occurred with one of our young people. I want to remind the community of the importance of confidentiality. That is really essential in situations such as this. So you're never going to hear me speak to the school a young person attends, the grade level, or any other identifiable information for a young person, because I want to make sure that we're honoring and respecting confidentiality as we are required to respect confidentiality. So I'm going to encourage our community as much as possible, make sure that we respect confidentiality. Secondly, it's important for us to know that as clinicians are working with young people who may have experienced some type of trauma, the last thing that we want to do is to re-traumatize the individual. So we don't want them to experience the situation again. And our clinicians are trained and have received quite a bit of professional development on handling certain situations as it involves adolescents and young people. So they're well equipped to be able to do that with all circumstances, not just this specific circumstances, but with any circumstance that could bring about any level of trauma to a young person. We have quite a bit of programs in our schools that we utilize every single day. Every school may utilize those particular programs in a different way, and that's totally fine because it's up to the campus administration as well as our teachers to be able to implement the programs that we have in place to support our young people. But we also have clinicians in our schools. We have psychologists in our schools. We have social workers in our schools. We have therapists that come to our schools to provide whatever services that our young people and or adults may need to deal with a particular challenge. If there is a circumstance that has been deemed a crisis, we have crisis teams that we deploy to schools to be able to address crises that may come about to help young people and adults to work through a particular situation. So we have the services that are in our schools readily available. This isn't something that we want to say that this is a school-based challenge or a school-based issue, even though we have the services in our schools. We also have outreach to our community. So we have legal counsel that we have provided information about for our families who believe that there's some need for legal counsel or legal services, as well as any food or other social service or social support type services that families may need. We have provided a list of resources or locations for where our families can go. We have also shared with our community that if there are community members who are interested in donating any support to our families, to take those donations directly to any schoolhouse and leave it in the front office, and the campus administration will take care of it from there. We're not going to disclose who it goes to, because again, that infringes or impedes upon confidentiality, and we want to make sure we're being respectful of confidentiality. But we want our community to know that we are here to support and provide services for our community for any circumstances that may come about, not just this particular situation, even though we are addressing this situation, but we have services and supports to be able to help with any facets that our families may see that there is a particular need. If there is something that our families are seeing that we are not providing because we may not be aware, we're asking our families to reach out to us and let us know. As I shared with our families last week, you can contact your campus principal directly. You can contact your teacher, your child's teacher directly, or you can contact me directly at aspencer@teaneckschools.org, or you can send it to superintendent@teaneckschools.org. And we will make sure that you get the services or the resources that you need, because we have tons and tons of resources in our district. We do quite a bit of outreach. Our staff are doing a remarkable job with doing outreach to the community and beyond to get additional support services for our young people and our families within our school district.
I was going to follow up on that. That's really great to know about resources in that our community members can reach out individually to the schools or to you directly to the superintendent's office, for how they can, because I believe that our community is very concerned. There's a lot of feedback in terms of, what can I do? How can I help and so forth. One question I did have is what practical advice would you give parents and students when it comes to, dealing with ICE, and how to stay safe on their way to and from school, if they happen to encounter or see ICE vehicles or, officers? I understand your whole explanation, which was great, about the safety of our children once they're in a classroom or in one of those protected offices. But what about as they're traveling, as they're walking to and from school or on the bus? What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely, and thank you for raising that question as well. What I would say for our young people and to our parents, we have to make sure that we treat strangers as strangers. So if any of our young people encounter anyone that they are not aware about or that they do not know, they are a stranger. And we
Yes.
should make sure that we stop and we ask the individual to contact my parent or to contact someone who is not a stranger to be able to engage. We don't want our young people engaging with any stranger at all. And a stranger is someone that they do not know. It doesn't matter. It's someone that they do not know. If by chance anyone stops them, don't attempt to run away from someone. Don't allow someone to take you, though. So I'm not saying allow someone to take you. I'm saying don't attempt to run away. Ask the individual to contact your parent or to contact your school so that we can make sure that we get someone to that location that the child is familiar with. Because no adult should stop a child, and we expect the child to be able to just acquiesce and go with the adult. That's not reasonable in today's world. So I would say to our families to make sure that we're communicating to our young people to do exactly that. I would also encourage our young people to walk in groups as much as possible. And we want them to do this anyway. It's safe practice. Walk in groups so that you can see something and you can say something. If you see something that looks suspicious, tell an adult that you know and you trust. Allow for the adult to handle the situation. Don't attempt to handle the situation yourself. Even for our high school young people. I know our high school young people are adults, they're young adults, but in this case, I'm asking them if they see something, they say something. And our young people have been really good in doing that. Saying something when they see something that doesn't make sense, informing the adult that they know so that the adult that they know can intervene and handle and address the situation. But at any point, I would say, and I don't think any law enforcement would do this, but I don't know. I don't know what people think or do in their minds. If they are stopped on the street on their way to or from school, ask the individual if they could contact their school or if they could contact their parent so that there's an adult that they are familiar with and that they trust and know is present in that situation at that point in time. And I believe that law enforcement will oblige in doing that. And then definitely walk together as a collective group. So again, you see something, you say something, you report it. And that's the way we can help our young people.
That's
I just
a
wanted to
great
bring up
advice.
one thing before we actually close out. Thank you for all that, Dr. Spencer. I think when we're very transparent like that and also educating us on different things is very helpful for the public and the parents to understand and receive that knowledge. I'm a parent of, two kids at the high school and, Dwayne as well. And so one thing that what you said about things are training and things that are going on within the schools, it's very important that we know that there are trauma-informed leadership that's happening at the schools is a fact of what to do when things like this happen. Not only for what's, very traumatizing to our children now, but any trauma that goes on. That our schools are able and are equipped to handle what's going on. So that means for those who are listening, and we have a lot of people who are listening, a lot of parents who are listening, there are people that are employed by the district, like you said, psychologists, there are outreach workers. We have great leadership at our middle schools. And so we would hope that they are using the resources that Dr. Spencer has mentioned that, that the district is providing for our children. I spoke before the forum that's at the high school. There are two wonderful behaviorists and counselors at the middle schools. They're also able to support our children during this time. And also, one thing we don't really talk about are the teachers. Teachers are in the classrooms every single day for the children, and we will hope that they're also using the resources for the trauma-informed information that they will have to support our kids in the classroom as all this stuff that's happening on the outside world is going on, that they're able to still teach in the classroom. Kids are still learning in the classroom while all this stuff is going on in our outside world. Dwayne, Denise?
Yeah, I just want to say that, Celine, that 100%. I think that this is kind of reminiscent of our parents as a parent. I mean, my kids are adults now, but having the talk, as we say in our community, we would always have to have that talk with
Yep.
our children. The very things that Dr. Spencer just said about walking together, not being, singled out by yourself, or staying in groups. This is reminiscent to me of that, of just really educating and using the resources that the school district is making available to parents. Having the discussion, open discussion. Sometimes it's just maybe even talking to a teacher or a counselor, or talking to the principal. So let them know that these are the things that I'm doing. This is what I'm telling my child to do when it comes to moving back and forth between home and the school's campus. So I think this has been very, very insightful. Before we
Mm.
close out, Dwayne, did you have any other thoughts you wanted to mention?
I just want to echo what everyone else has said. Thank you, Dr. Spencer. I think that the information you gave us, you shared with us today is invaluable. I believe that we need community more than ever at this moment, right? When that's saying it takes a village, not only takes a village to raise our own children, it takes a village for us to be together as a community and survive through all these unbearable, unthinkable circumstances that we're going through right now. So I'd like to thank you for your time today. I'm sure everybody's watching this podcast will also like to thank you, because the information, you just don't really have access to it as easily as you given it today. And that this is a great place for people to come and be able to get this information. So thanks again.
Thank you. And thank you to each of you for the invite to speak with you today. I truly appreciate it. I hope I was able to share some insight for our community so that our community has much more information that can help them to make informed decisions. As I was talking, something that I want to make sure that I'm very, very clear on for our young people, because I was speaking about any law enforcement agents don't run, because they are uniformed. So you see them.
Mm,
So don't run. Now,
mm,
if it is someone that's not uniformed, run to the nearest store or someplace to get some help. Do not stand there and talk to someone that is not uniformed. I don't want them to do that. I do want them to, if there's a uniform agent that's present there, ask them to call your school or to call your home so that you can get an adult present. But if a stranger approaches you, no, I want you to scream. I want you to scream, and I want you to run to a nearby store so that you can get an adult to assist you if they are dressed like I'm dressed today and you cannot
Mhm.
recognize them. Then no, I
Mhm.
don't want you to stand there and engage with them. But anything that we can make sure that we do to keep our young people safe, that's what we legally, of course, that's what we are going to do in Teaneck Public Schools. Our goal is to make sure our young people are getting the best educational opportunities that we can provide, but we have to be able to do that in a safe and conducive learning environment as well. And that's our goal. That is exactly what we are going to do. And I will share again to our community. If you want to help, please go to your nearest campus and offer your help and your support there. Please, please, please do not disclose identifiable information about any of our young people or any of our families on social media. I'm going to ask that you not do that.
mm.
And thank you again for the opportunity to speak with you this afternoon. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Thank
More thing. I just want to just reiterate the Hampton
Sure.
University legacy, right? Because I was going to make sure Hampton University that we talk about that as well. But thank you.
Yes, yes. And well, thank you, Dr. Spencer. Well, I think what people may not know that you are a graduate of the greatest HBCU, Oregon State University. But on this Super Bowl Sunday, we're rooting for all
Right.
of our teams, number one, but also our schools. We have so much pride for
Go
not only
Teaneck.
teams, but
We can
yes,
all
go
say go
go
Teaneck.
Teaneck.
We
Yes,
definitely
go
can say
Teaneck.
go
Go
We're
Teaneck.
so
Teaneck.
proud.
Go
That's
Yes,
right.
Teaneck.
Thank you
indeed.
guys.
Thank you, and have a great day.
You do
Bye-bye.
the
So,
same.
yes, indeed.
All
And so
right.
I just want to say in summary what happened, so clearly as we can see it has shaken our community, and it's important to say this clearly that children should never ever carry fear with them when they go to and from schools. Schools exist to educate, to protect, to affirm the dignity of every child, no exception. This moment calls for calm, clarity, coordination, and this is what we're attempting to do in this podcast. It calls for schools, municipal leaders, and the state to work together to ensure that school spaces and the paths leading to them remain safe and respected. And it calls for us as a community to
Mhm.
stand together against fear with facts and compassion and resolve. We speak to the Teaneck families who are anxious right now. You are seen, you are valued, and your children belong here. Teaneck's strength has always been in our diversity and its care for one another. That commitment does not change, it doesn't waver. We will continue to ask questions on this podcast, and we demand accountability and center the well being of our children because protecting them is not political, it is our shared responsibility. And so, on that note, I'd like to open it up to my co host, this being Black History Month. We still want to shine a light on some events that are happening in and around town.
There
And
are a
I believe
couple.
there are a couple. Yeah, let's hear
There are a
about them.
couple of things. As I reach for my Harriet Tubman cup right here that I'm drinking out of, right? Those who are listening, I have a Harriet Tubman cup that I got from the African American Museum a couple of years ago. But right here in Teaneck, there's a couple of Black History Month events that you must attend. The Martin Luther King Birthday Committee is having their talk series on Black History Month at the Teaneck Public Library every Thursday beginning at 7 p.m. They will be in the auditorium. In addition to that, this Saturday, Valentine's Day, between the hours of noon and 2 o'clock. If you're not boot up during those times, you can always come to the library where I will be reading some stories about different African American heroes, and it's a free program for preschool to fourth grade learners. I have 3 books, and it comes with arts and crafts and some snacks at the Teaneck Public Library. That is February 14th at noon. You must register, so please log on to the Teaneck Library website to log on for registration. Dwayne?
I think the Teaneck Terpsichorean is coming
Mm,
up in February. I don't have the date on me, but I
I
think
think
they are having a
it's next
performance.
weekend.
If it's,
Yeah.
that's
I think
next
it's
weekend,
Valentine's
right? Okay.
weekend. Yeah, yeah.
oh,
Yep,
wow.
yeah,
Valentine's
that's
weekend. So there you got Terpsichore at the high school. So please look out for that. There's also what else? Well, you mentioned the MLK birthday celebration.
Mhm.
That's going to go on for the rest of the month. Shameless plug. I'm actually moderating one of those events on the
Yay.
26th at the Teaneck Library. So come,
Right.
check it out. That's going to be a really great event. So
yeah.
that's all I have right now at the moment.
Yes, and I just want to mention there's a film that's coming out. It's going to
Yes.
be played on the 19th, and it's a story about the legacy of Barbara Jordan, Congressman
Mm.
Barbara Jordan. That's going to be at the Barrymore Film Center in Fort Lee. Even though it's there, it's being sponsored by the Coalition of 100 Black Women and a few other organizations are actually co-hosting that. And so there's so many activities that are going happening this month. We'll put some of them in our in our show notes so that as you circulate our podcast, remember to subscribe and to share it. Everyone can know about these exciting events that are right here within our township. Okay. Anything
Looking
else?
forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. I'm actually one of the
Yeah.
sponsors of that as well. So is my sorority. Delta Sigma Theta will also be sponsoring that. So I'm looking forward to that, learning about and Barbara Jordan. But that's it. That's all we have today, folks. I'm so happy. This was a very important part two of what's going on in our town. This is Teaneck in Focus. I hope everyone has a great week.
Yes. Happy Black History Month.
Take care.